Do you finally want to organize your Pokemon collection and present it in a nice way? Well, you come to the right place. Welcome to the MewDojo and let's upgrade your collection. How is it going, my dear disciples, and welcome back to the MewDojo. Today I hope I can inspire you with some tips and tricks how you can upgrade your collection, organize it better, make it look better, because let's be honest, we all have been there. Everyone has that spot at home where there's like tons of random cards flying around, maybe some TCG online. You know the drill, we all have been there. So if you want to jump into any of the specific topics, please use the timestamps in the description down below. But let's don't waste any more time and let's dive right into that level up of your collection. Alright, my dear disciples, to kick things off, I think the best thing you can do to tackle this project is thinking about a general concept. Why am I saying this is because everyone is different, everyone has kind of different requirements for their collection organization. They also maybe have some visual requirements. So I think a good couple of questions you can ask yourself is like, am I going to be more visually focused? Am I going to be more storage focused? Am I more utility focused? Maybe you're a TCG online player or a TCG player in general and you want to have quick access to certain products. Maybe you are a big collector and you have a lot of products where it maybe makes more sense to be a little bit more storage focused to maximize the usage of your limited space. But for me, for example, as you know from my previous videos, I went for the visual approach with like a minimalistic touch, kind of like have a couple of prestige spots. Always put my binders in the same spot, using like the ETB boxes, which I'm going to go into more detail later. So I think these are all a lot of valid questions because everyone is different, and the main idea of this project today is inspire you to really bring your passion to life in your home and make it the best it can be. Now that we answered the question of the general concept, I want to dive into a little bit more detailed approach and share some tips and tricks how you can organize all those random cards, because I think that's always the biggest problem. And I want to kick this off with my favorite product of the Pokemon TCG, which is none other than Elite Trainer boxes. Those are super powerful tools that you can use to store your cards at home, and they're always looking super nice. Let's say you open Paldean Fates, you have tons of those random cards, you picked up an ETB, just put those cards back into that ETB. It looks visually coherent, they always have the same branding, it looks super nice. They come with amazing dividers that you can use kind of to categorize your cards. So I always feel those are a very powerful tool to organize your collection. They will always be super cheap on eBay if you want to just pick up some of those dividers, some of the empty boxes. I think that is always really nice, so you don't have to go with this cartridge brown style back at home. I think that is always a nice premium touch you can give your collection to elevate it to the next level. Coming up next, we have some tips and tricks how you can organize your binders, both in the way you put them into your setup, but also how you organize them internally. So just to kick off, this is totally my thing. I know it's like a little bit overkill, but I always love to buy the same binders. So when I go out and buy a new batch, I always buy like 20, so at least for like the next 20 sets, I have the visually coherent binders. But if not, at least kind of like maybe on the sets you're working on, you can think about having the same binder. So it's kind of recognizable because I always like these visual cues in your setup. If you look in the bag, I have 8 sets at the moment that I'm working on. They all look the same, and I think it just adds that little pop of detail into your setup that really makes it look super nice. So that is something you can think about. But diving into the binders, I also have a nice amazing tip for you guys, because just recently I thought about coming back to Elite Trainer boxes, using the sleeves of appropriate set to fill in the gaps of the cards that I'm missing. I used to just leave those spots blank, or maybe use like an energy of the Pokemon that I'm missing, just to give it a little bit of a nice touch. But finding these sleeves in the Elite Trainer box and actually putting them in just like adds this extra detail that feels really nice while you wait for these cards, and then later you can just turn it around and put in the card that you were looking for. Alright, my dear disciples, to round things up, let's zoom out one last time and look at our collection as a whole. I think it is really important to design your setup in a way that it really blends in with the rest of your home, your room, your apartment, whatever, just so you have like a cohesive style. I think it is really elevating your collection. What I'm saying is I'm talking about having only like maybe 2 or 3 prestige spots in your collection that really pop out, where you want to put your favorite products. Don't have it all over the place. Like this, you really have like a magnet of attention to that specific area. You can still rotate through your favorite products through time. This will also keep it fresh for you, and maybe even throw in some plants or maybe like some other objects that are not Pokemon related, kind of like you would do in other rooms. I really love these IKEA fake plants. It's these small details that kind of like stay in contrast with the Pokemon products and add that extra touch of nice detail to your collection. You can also go the extra mile, like I said, buy the same binders, like only put ETBs that are looking nice, like all these kind of details you can use depending on your style and depending on your approach. But I think these tips will really help you make your collection really look awesome and really part of your home as a whole. Alright my disciples, that have been my tips and tricks how you can elevate your collection to the next level. If you enjoyed them and if they were helpful to you, consider becoming a disciple and subscribe to the MewDojo. I would be very happy to see you around. I'm gonna catch you in the Twilight Masquerade opening in 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe, have some amazing pulls, and I catch you in the next one.